Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Twilight Princess. We have just finished off Arbiter's Grounds, and we are outside in this little tower area. It's quite awesome, actually, that, once you defeat Arbiter's Grounds, you don't just beat the boss, get the heart container, then warp out. There's actually this whole area up top here. And considering we're currently searching for the Mirror of Twilight, I would think that when we show up here in the Mirror Chamber, that this just might be a good place to look. So as we walk forward, of course, it can't just be that simple. We're going to get ambushed by shadow beings. It's good that they put these here, though, because we are actually going to have to return to the Mirror Chamber later. And you know how much it would suck to have to go through Arbiter's Grounds again. So let's just take these things out. As usual, it's probably easier to do this as a wolf because of the charge attack. It's a little bit simpler than using a spin attack. So let's just take these out. And these are pretty spread out. There's one like way over here too. So then let's get these last two by themselves. And that takes care of it. So we get our warp point, and now we can actually explore the Mirror Chamber. And there's not really a whole lot here, you know, just your standard, everything's in a circle. And there's a cool little statue with a spinner rail going up it, so I say we take a look at that. This is pretty awesome. I like this part right here. And whoosh, fire. Anyway, we're gonna get deposited into this little slot here so we can spin it around to activate stuff. And it looks like we're finally gonna get to see whatever's been chained up down here. And no, it's not just this big heap of rock that's not gonna do us any good. What we're actually looking for is that thing that's down there in the background, but it doesn't exactly look the way we want it to. I'm sure we'll find out more about that here in just a second. So, what do you think about this, Midna? Is that what you were looking for? Let's hope it's not, because it doesn't exactly look complete. And judging by that reaction, I believe that's what we're looking for. So that is actually the Mirror of Twilight, or at least part of it. And there goes Midna looking all angry again. So just what in the world are we supposed to do about this? It kind of sucks we went through all this work to get here. Just to find out it's not complete. Whoa, hey, who are you guys? A dark entity lurks in the twilight. It houses an evil power. You who are guided by fate, you who possess the crest of the goddesses, hear us. At the command of the goddesses, we sages have guarded the Mirror of Twilight since ancient times. You seek it, but the Mirror of Twilight has been fragmented by mighty magic. That magic is a dark power that only he possesses. He? You talking about Zant or something? His name is... Dramatic pause. Ganondorf? What? Now when did he get put into this story? Well, right now, actually. So he was the leader of a band of thieves who invaded Hyrule in hopes of establishing dominion over the Sacred Realm. I'm sure you all have heard this story before, or at least this part of it. And we get sort of like a remade introduction to Ganondorf scene. You know, they've had pretty much this exact same thing in Ocarina of Time when Zelda, I believe, was explaining, you know, Ganondorf's whole evil intentions to Link near the beginning of the game. But he was blind. Well, that would be quite a hindrance if you were a thief looking for something. In all his fury and might, he was blind to any danger, and thus was he exposed, subdued, and brought to justice, and chained to a big rock. Now, I've got to say, I really like this version of Ganondorf. I didn't really like Wind Waker's version of Ganondorf because he was like a big old fat man, pretty much. But, you know, I guess that's to be expected because it's pretty far in the future. I mean, I guess this game's sort of in the future, too. Don't even get started about the whole timeline debate thing because I don't care enough. So anyway, Ganondorf's been impaled with this sword, but he still lives because he has the Triforce of Power. And they did a really, really good job of making this Ganondorf look just, like, incredibly evil. And also, you may notice in the background, the castle escape music from Ocarina of Time is playing. Figured I'd shut up just a little bit there so you guys could hear it. I know it's kind of hard to hear music when I'm talking over it, but... And, oh man, that sage just got turned into dust by touching Ganondorf's hand. So, I mean, doesn't this Ganondorf just look like purely, you know, evil and scary, intimidating? So they did a really good job with this one. I'm really happy with it. So this is the Mirror of Twilight in its completed form, and the sage is going to use it here. And it's got some pretty cool visuals, I've got to say. And as we've already learned, the Mirror of Twilight is the link between the realm of light and the realm of darkness, shadows, whatever. The Twilight realm. So the sword gets sucked in, and thankfully so does Ganondorf. So basically it seems like what the sages did is once they finally caught Ganondorf, found out they couldn't kill him with that, you know, big sword, they just banished him into the Twilight realm. And there's the face of that guy. Also, it's worth noting that it's pretty obvious for those of you who have played it, but the little medallion things that they're standing on have the same symbols as the medallions from Ocarina of Time. You know, each one corresponds to the sages. These guys are the sages. It's all kind of a circular thing here. So apparently that's where Zant got his power, and it makes sense because Zant had been talking a whole lot about the fact that, you know, he got his power from his god, and it's not the same magic they've been using. So here, the Mirror of Twilight's become fragments hidden across Hyrule. One is in the Snowy Mountain Heights. One is in an ancient grove. And one is in the heavens. Ooh, that sounds cool. You who have been sent by the goddesses, you should be able to gather the 3 pieces. But you must be prepared, for a dangerous power resides in those fragments. Yeah, well, you know, we're kind of used to that. So we now have our new goal. We've got 3 more places to go to: the mountains, the forest, and the heavens, whatever that means. So that's our new collectible, and there's the 1 piece of Mirror Twilight we have. And as you can see when we go into the menu screen, our few shadow pieces have been changed to mirror shards over there on the right. So that's cool. We've got our next thing that we need to be doing now. Anyway, there's a couple of things I want to get before advancing the story, you know, as per usual, but it's not actually as bad as it has been recently, mostly because of the whole big week-long collection spree I went on, getting all the post-souls and stuff. So actually, I only have 2 pieces of heart that I want to get before we can advance the story, so, you know, how cool is that? We actually get to pretty much stay on course with the story for quite a while now, actually. And we've got 40 out of 60 post-souls at this point. So we're making pretty good progress on that, too. We'll find a lot of them in the upcoming dungeons, and if I remember correctly, there are 3 of them in the big Cave of Ordeal, so that even, you know, cuts down on less that we have to go out and try to find. No, those guys are actually a pretty good shot. They're pretty good at leading you. So just run around in like a zigzag pattern like this, and they pretty much won't be able to do anything. The first piece of heart we're going to find up here. You notice there's a spinner track over here on the walls. Yes, both of these pieces of heart, we're going to be using the spinner for, which is pretty cool. But the kind of downside to this is once we use the spinner to get these 2 pieces of heart, you're not going to see it much at all in the rest of the game, really. So this is a pretty neat little sequence. I mean, we get to ride around on rails. We've got to jump back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and finally for a 7th time, we'll get deposited on this little ledge next to a chest. Run into the chest, and open it to find, of course, the first piece of heart. Collect 3 more for another full heart container. Now, the second one I want to get, probably won't be getting it in this video because we're going to get rudely interrupted. We want to be warping to the Bridge of Eldin. We can actually use this warp point now that we found the missing piece of the bridge that was in the desert. Before then, if you try to use the Bridge of Eldin warp point, Midna will just say, but if you use that warp point, you'll just drop into the big pit. So don't try it. It won't work. You can't just kill yourself by dropping in the big pit, but... But now it's cool that we can use this because we can get to this sort of northeastern side pretty easily. Link, wait! Yeah, we know. It's the postman, the hardest working man in all of Hyrule. Greetings, Mr. Link. I've come to deliver a letter. This letter for you. 2 letters, in fact. You don't have to make that noise, dude. Well, my business is concluded. Onward to mail. Alright. So real quick, I want to actually read one of these letters because somebody I know, or a few people I know, will get a big kick out of it. So let's read this letter from Uku. We get this letter from her because we used her in the last dungeon. It says, "Ooh, I was so happy to see you the other day. I really had fun. I was also so happy to see my son's face again. So happy." Yeah, I bet somebody I know will really enjoy that letter. So, anyway, that's pretty much all that we have time for. And in the next part, we'll continue on to the north, this way, to get our next piece of heart. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.